Welcome, Learn for Life family. I want to say good morning to our faculty, staff, students, and parents. We are so glad that you are able to join us. Today, we are presenting uh, a Hispanic serving institution, CSU Bakersfield. We're so glad to have local schools a part of our college access program because we realize not everyone will leave the state of California for post-secondary opportunities. This state is so rich in universities and colleges. We want to make sure that you are aware of all of your options. The College Access Program is a lifelong learning initiative. It is powered by lifelong learning. We are lending a platform to a growing collaboration between Learn for Life schools and higher education institutions, HBCUs, HSIs, and other minority serving institutions. Together, we seek to strengthen and promote college access, readiness, enrollment, but more than that, persistence, because completion of your degree is what will make a difference in your life. With that said, I would like to introduce our hostess, Cheryl Moore. Cheryl, we're so interested to hear from CSU Bakersfield. They are local to our Lancaster and Palmdale sites. So we're really excited to hear from Mr. Riggins today. So let you introduce him.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Michelle. Yes, we are extremely excited to have you with us today, Mr. Riggins. Listen, Learn for Life students, good morning to you and welcome to session 2 of day 3 of our virtual college week. We have had a blast up to this point, and we're going to have to continue to have a great time together. So right now, we are excited to bring to you today, representing Cal State University Bakersfield, home of the Road Runners, Mr.
Yes.
Darius Riggins. Mr. Riggins, welcome.
Hello. Greetings, everyone that is on the call. I want to take this time to thank everyone for the invitation. I'm excited to be here. And a quick little thing, a little bit about myself. I've actually worked for 5 different Cal States. I've worked for Northridge, San Bernardino, Pomona, Channel Islands, and now Cal State Bakersfield. So I've been around the block a little bit with regards to the CSU. I've been working for the CSU system now a little bit more than 23 years. Started at the bottom, but now I'm at the top, so to speak. I'm not a president, but I've been moving up slowly but surely. So I have a lot of information and experience. So please, as we go through the presentation, jot down your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them and give you any insight that I have. All right, so I was told that I needed to go ahead and do another share for my presentation. So let me do that. All right, so Ms. Moore, can you confirm that you see the presentation on the screen?
Absolutely, it looks great.
All right, fantastic. So let's go ahead and get started so we can maximize our opportunities being together. So California State University Bakersfield. So here's our institution at a glance. You see our popular majors there: biology, business, criminal justice, nursing, liberal studies, psychology. Nursing has the asterisk there because nursing is our only impacted program. So there are additional responsibilities or additional requirements that the nursing department would have all of those students go through before you can start taking nursing courses. But if you are interested in being a nurse, note that our program in general is number 5 in the state of California, and our online program for nursing, for those that go to a community college and get a registered nursing associate's degree, our program is number 3 in the state of California. So if you want nursing, CSUB is definitely one of the campuses you should consider. Our motto, Runners on the Rise, this is coming from our president, Dr. Lynette Zalesny. She is the first woman president for California State University Bakersfield. We are Division I campus with regards to athletics. We are, as someone mentioned, the Road Runners. You see our mascot there, Rowdy. And you also see some awards that we received last year in terms of best colleges and rankings and different things like that. So we are definitely a campus that represents the community, as well as make sure that we have top programs. So here's a little bit of our university profile. About 11,000 students come to the university, 36 baccalaureate degree programs, 16 master's degrees, 5 credentials, 1 doctorate. We'll go through some of those as we go on. You also see there some average GPAs and SAT scores and stuff like that. That is averages. You don't need that in order to be admitted. We're going to go over exactly what you need to do to be admitted. All right, so the university has 4 schools. So here is the first we're going to go over, Arts and Humanities. Did something happen with the presentation?
No, it's just fine.
You see it? Okay, because my screen did something different. Okay.
Okay,
all
we
right.
See it just fine.
Okay, great. So again, School of Arts and Humanities. So if you're looking for a major in English, interdisciplinary studies, music, philosophy, this is the school that you would get your degree in. And you notice, you see the pictures there, we have very, very many different labs and opportunities for students to perfect what they're learning in their classes for their majors. All right, School of Business and Public Administration. This is where you get your degrees in accounting and finance and marketing and management, but we also have environmental resource management, public policy and administration, a full degree in agricultural business, as well as economics. All right, School of Natural Sciences, Mathematics and Engineering. So this, of course, is the school where you get your STEM majors from. So computer science, computer engineering, human biological sciences, natural sciences, physics. We have a lot of different types of concentrations within our major. So for example, in engineering sciences, we actually have a petroleum option. How many of you know how much petroleum engineers make? Right out of college, you can start making $120,000 a year as a petroleum engineer. And we have that program right here at the university. Interestingly enough, a majority of the students that come to Cal State Bakersfield are getting a degree in this school. So a large percentage of our students are doing a STEM major. And let me take this time to talk about those pictures there. You see the nurse there working on the baby mannequin. When you go to a California State University school, it is what we call an application-based institution versus a research-based institution. So what is the difference between the two? When you go to an application-based institution, the institution really tries to make sure that you have experiences in the classroom that you can apply once you graduate and start working. So nursing is a prime example of that, where they put the students through, they have what's called a trauma lab. And so they get to work on those mannequins as if they were real human subjects. But the mannequins are actually able to mimic things that humans do. So they'll have a temperature if you take their temperature. If you stick them with a needle, they'll say ow. When I was working at Cal State San Bernardino, they actually had a mama mannequin that could give birth to a baby mannequin. Now, I don't know how that happens, but it gave those nurses an actual experience of what they would see once they start working. So all of our majors try to incorporate something that allows you to be able to get some real world experiences before you leave the institution and enter that world so that you're better prepared. All right, School of Social Sciences and Education. So here is where we get criminal justice, political science, psychology, sociology. Our probably top 2 most popular majors on campus will be psychology and liberal studies. Those of you that want to be teachers, particularly K through 12, the premier degree to get is liberal studies. And we actually have a program where you can get your credential and your degree to teach at the exact same time. All right, student life. Cal State Bakersfield has over 100 clubs and organizations, and it's important for you that when you get to the university that you take the time to get involved with things outside of the classroom. So important because there are many things you learn outside of the classroom that you wouldn't inside, you know, in terms of working together with groups and committees, and doing things that will enhance your overall experience, not only at the university, but give you additional experiences for once you get out there in the real world. And the one thing that's also cool is that given all those organizations, if for some reason you don't find a fraternity or a sorority or a club associated with your major or anything like that, if you don't find one that suits your needs, you are able to start one yourself. All right, so we have been given approval to expand our union, so we're excited for that. And the expansion of the union is just going to give more opportunities for students, for clubs and organizations, and space for them. So, we're really just waiting for this COVID pandemic situation to settle down, and then we'll be able to get started on that project. All right, Student Recreation Center. All right, so if you're interested in or tend to work out or want to start working out, there will be no need for you to take on some type of membership at like 24-hour fitness or body exchange or anything like that, because you have a full service center right on campus, and it is absolutely free for enrolled students with their CSUB ID. So inside you have all of the free weights, you have all the aerobic machines, we have indoor basketball, indoor running track. It's 2 levels, and so anything and everything you would want as far as physical fitness. I mean, you can even get a personal trainer, and all of these things are provided for you simply because you are a student. It's a dynamic facility. I've been there myself, and if you notice there, it says there's a 30-foot rock wall. Well, it's a little bit different than a wall. It's not like a wall that you just go straight up and straight down. It is actually a 3D rock mountain, so that you can actually get more of a real feel if you were to go out, into the forest or whatever and actually climb a mountain. You really would get that experience going into this facility. It's really cool. All right, on-campus housing. This may affect some of you. If you decide to come to the university, of course, you don't want to do a commute. You want to live in housing, and those are some of the amenities that we have at the university. And we have a suite style type of living environment. It is not what will be known as a traditional dorm. A traditional dorm, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you walk into a traditional dorm, you walk into a very, very small room. Think of maybe the room that you sleep in right now, whether you're in a house or in an apartment. You walk in, that's the room you get. There you might have a roommate. There's 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 closets, and there is a community bathroom down the hall. That is not the type of living environment when you come to California State University, Bakersfield. We have suite style living. So you walk in. In fact, I think I have a screen here that might show some of the schematics here. Yes. So if you look there to the left, that will be a breakdown of some of the floor plans. And so note, and I will say this, now the bathroom is not a community bathroom, but the bathroom is not in the apartment. The bathroom is right across the hall from the apartment. So when you walk out your front door, you go right across the hall, there's your bathroom, but the only people that have access to the bathroom are those that you live with. So only your apartment mates have access to that bathroom. It's not a community bathroom. And then note that we do have a new policy. If you're going to come to us as a first-time freshman out of high school and your living address is 30 miles or more than to the university, you are required to live on campus for your first year. And that's actually looking out for you. There are studies that show that students that live on campus have a higher retention rate as well as graduation rate. And you have access to all the amenities and resources on campus right there without having to go back and forth home, even if you're right down the street in the city. So providing that for you is something that we know will ensure your success while you're here at the university. All right, talked about athletics. We are a Division I program. We are now in the Big West Conference. We stepped up from the WAC conference. You see the picture there on the left of the men's basketball team. That was from, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. We actually won our conference championship. And that year, we were also invited to the NIT tournament. And at the NIT tournament, we made it to the Final Four. We played in Madison Square Garden. It was a dynamic time for us in the basketball program. So because of the success and the dominance actually that we had in the WAC, we moved up to the Big West Conference. So we are slowly but surely making noise in that conference, and we're excited about that. And all of our sports are competitive. Even our women's volleyball team is coming off a championship in the last 2 years as well. One thing about participating in sports as a student, you are able to go to all the home games absolutely for free for all of our sports. All right. There's not even like a $5 cover charge. You just bring your ID and you are in. And a lot of times they are giving out food as well as T-shirts. And if you come to CSUB, I guarantee you have a great time, particularly if you go to a basketball game. There's nothing like being in our iCardo arena with 4,000 of other students cheering on the team. It's really a good time. All right, we have available campus resources for a variety of students. Some of these resources is based upon a certain demographic, but others anybody can take advantage of. For example, our Writing Resource Center, our Academic Advising Resource Center, our Community Engagement and Career Education. These are for any students that's on campus. But we also have some demographic-specific programs, such as our Guardian Scholars Program. That program is for students that are our foster youth. We also have the Veteran Success Center, so that caters to veterans as well as their dependents. So if your mom or dad was in the military, you have a center that will service you. I encourage all of you to apply to the Educational Opportunity Program. This is a program that helps students get admitted to the university, as well as providing substantial scholarship and grants that helps you finance your education. All right, cost of attendance, yes, it does cost to go to school, and you see the numbers there, but please don't be too concerned about it. All of you should be applying for financial aid at the appropriate time. Financial aid gives you access to grants, loans, and work study. I know a lot of people don't like loans, but the cool thing about loans, if you have to take it, it usually comes at a lower interest rate, and you do not have to start paying that back until 6 months after you graduate from the university. So they really try to work with you, and it's important for you to make sure that you take advantage of any opportunity to finance your education. So please apply for financial aid. Also apply to scholarships, okay? You may have heard that sometimes scholarship money goes untouched because people just simply don't apply. That is so true. So make sure that you are maximizing your opportunities for scholarships as they will help you finance your education. So we also have some other financial resources on campus. We do offer scholarships just for CSUB students that you apply to at the time that you apply for financial aid. We also have a food pantry on campus, and this food pantry is open to the entire community. So we're talking about faculty, staff, and students can go to the food pantry and get free food, all right? One of the things that's important for you to be successful at a university, you have to have your basic needs met, and there's no reason for you to be hungry, all right? So we have, a food pantry that will actually give you free food, whether it be canned, in a box, or straight from the farm in terms of some nice fresh produce. Okay, so let's talk about what is it going to take for you to be admitted into a university like California State University, Bakersfield. Here are those admission requirements out of high school. So you have to graduate from high school, of course. You have to complete the A through G courses. I'll show you a list of that in a moment. I'm hopeful that you are already familiar with that. In those courses, you got to get a C or better. And you just need a 2.5 GPA in those A through G courses between 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So let me give you another perspective on this because I really want you to understand what this is. So one of the things about the California State University system is we are experiencing something called impaction. When a university is impacted, what that means is that there's too many students trying to get in than what the university has the ability to offer a space to. All right. So what ends up happening is that university, in order to regulate all the students that are trying to get in, they have to increase those minimum requirements. All right. California State University Bakersfield is not impacted. So because it's not impacted, All you have to do is meet those minimum requirements in order to get an offer of admission. All right, so that's key for you to understand. All right, so one of the strategies that you want to employ right now in terms of getting access to higher education is not only apply to all those big giant schools that have all this type of recognition or whatever you believe is your #1 school, and you may not necessarily know if you're going to get in. You also want to apply to schools that you absolutely know that upon applying that you're going to get in. So if you're looking at these requirements and you're saying, yeah, I'm gonna complete those A through G's, and yeah, I already have better than a 2.5 GPA. Well, guess what? If you apply to CSUB, I guarantee you're going to get a letter of admission. All right, so that's key for you to understand. All right, it's very important that you make sure that you are strategic in who and where you apply to. All right, so for example, some of our more impacted campuses, Cal State, Pomona, San Luis Obispo, San Jose State, San Diego State, Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach. Well, if you, let's say you just apply to all those campuses. Well, you just apply to the most impacted campuses. So that means they're going to hold you to a higher minimum requirement. And each of them are going to be different, right? So I can't tell you what the minimum GPA would be if you applied going to San Diego State. All right, it could be a 3.5. And if you don't have that minimum, you don't make that initial cut. You don't get in, even if you have the 2.5. Because I'm showing you right here, well, that's the minimum requirement, okay? But again, not at an impacted Cal State, all right? So that's key for you to understand that. Other Cal States do things a little bit differently. At Cal Poly Pomona, they have a different minimum GPA based upon the major. So a psychology major may only need to have, let's say, a 2.8, but an architecture major may need to have a 3.0, all right? It really just depends. And then lastly, with San Luis Obispo, they're completely different at all as well. I think they do an average of their applicants. And so I believe one year, their average GPA cutoff was a 3.95. All right, so, you know, there's definitely going to be some competition. So again, apply to schools that you know you're going to get into, and CSUB represents that institution. All right, here are those A through G courses. I'm hopeful that you are already familiar with these courses. You want to make sure that you complete them by the end of your senior year. Do not be trying to complete these requirements in the summer after your senior year, all right? So if you are unsure, if you are on course to finish these, meet with your counselors, meet with your teachers, have them verify to you that yes, upon graduation, you would have finished all of these courses. And again, for these courses in particular, you got to get a C grade or better, all right? If you got a D somewhere, talk to your advisors, try to get that repeated so that you can be in compliance with the minimum requirements. All right, so let's say you have an opportunity and say, you know what, I don't want to go to the university right out of high school. I want to go to a community college first. So for those of you that's in the Palmdale, Lancaster area, you have AVC right there, as well as our extension campus that has about, I think about 7, maybe 8 majors that you can actually complete there. Well, if they have the major that you want, you can stay right there by going to a community college first. So anybody going to a community college, this is what you need to do. You have to complete 60 transferable units, have an overall GPA of at least a 2.0. Then there's 4 classes that you have to take: college level math, English, critical thinking, and speech. Those 4 classes, you get a C or better. And if you do that, now you can apply to the CSU system and be admitted to our campuses. Now, again, this is minimum requirements. So, of course, this will work at any school that's not impacted for transfers. There are some that are, all right? And again, that impaction status, a lot of times that changes and fluctuates based upon the year. For example, for the longest time, Cal State Fresno was one of our more impacted campuses. Last year and this year, they've undeclared that impaction. So they are now a school that is not impacted. So minimum requirements could get you in to Cal State Fresno. Just to let you know, some other campuses that are not impacted: Cal State Channel Islands, Stanislaus, Maritime, Dominguez Hills, as mentioned before, us, Cal State Bakersfield. So there are some, plenty of Cal States, about 6 or 7 Cal States that are not impacted. And again, if you meet the minimum requirements and you apply to those campuses, you will get a letter of admission. All right, so for those of you that are graduating seniors, you will be applying to the Cal State system this year in about 2 weeks. October 1st is your first opportunity to submit your applications. Note that for Cal State Bakersfield, we have extended our deadline. Normally, the traditional deadline is November 30th, but due to COVID, we have extended our deadline to December 15th. And you will find that there are many Cal States that are doing this, particularly those that are not impacted. The ones that are more super impacted, they're going to stick with the November 30th traditional deadline, okay? Now, given that you have 2 months, 2.5 months to apply, please don't wait till the deadline, you guys, all right? It opens up October 1st. Get your applications in early. And part of the reason to do that from a strategic standpoint is that many of our schools, they don't wait until the deadline to then start reviewing applications. As soon as they get a completed application, they will render a decision. So some of you could get your decisions, if you apply October 1st, you could get your decision before the end of the month. All right, now some of them will wait until January to send out all of their decisions, but know that they've already made that decision weeks before. All right, so you don't want to delay when you find out when you're admitted to the schools that you apply to. So apply early and be able to get that information soon. All right, so you have to apply for the Cal State system at calstate.edu/apply. We do not accept paper applications. All right, everything is online. During the application process, the system will allow you to determine whether or not you are eligible for the fee waiver. If you are eligible, you can apply to 4 Cal States for free. However, once you apply to the 5th Cal State, even if you're eligible for the fee waiver, they will start charging you the application fee. The application fee per campus is $70. All right. So note that, you know, you may, if you're not working, you might need to tell mom and dad, hey, I need $70 per campus. And they say, well, how many campuses are you applying to? Let's say you apply to 4. That's $280 at the time that you apply. All right. So, you know, make sure that you plan for that financially. All right. And you'll need to send us official transcripts upon requests. So you don't need to send it unless we ask you. Now on the screen here, let me talk a little bit about, it says send test results. And you see SAT, ACT, AP, and CLEP. Let me be a little bit more clear with regards to the SAT and the ACT. Notice, let me go back. Notice that on these requirements, you do not see a requirement for an SAT or an ACT score. And that's because last year, during our last application cycle, the California State University system, as well as the UC schools, have decided that we will no longer use the SAT or the ACT test scores to determine whether or not you're admissible. Now, that does not mean that you shouldn't take those tests. I'm not telling you not to take those tests. Okay, hear me out here. All I'm telling you is that whether you take the test or not, the scores will not be used to determine whether or not you're eligible to be admitted. Now, how can we use those scores? Well, for first-time freshmen, by policy of the CSU, all of you will have to take a math class and an English class in your first semester. Well, how do we determine which math class and English class you would be placed in? We can utilize the test scores from the SAT and the ACT to determine where you're placed for math and English. So there could be value in taking those tests. Also, if you're applying to a private school or if you're applying to a school out of state, those campuses could very well still be utilizing the SAT and the ACT for admission purposes. All right, this policy that I'm telling you about is simply for the Cal State system and the UC system. So please understand, I do not want you to miss out on an opportunity because you didn't take the SAT or the ACT. All right. So, but I'm also saying that if you don't, that's fine with regards to coming to a Cal State school, because we're not going to use it to determine whether or not you're eligible. And we have other ways to place you. So if we do have an applicant that doesn't have an SAT score, but they finish all the requirements and they're eligible, we will utilize other ways that we call multiple measures to determine how to place you in math or English. Okay, so you determine what's in your best interest, particularly based upon the campuses and the universities you're applying to. But please don't misunderstand me. I am not telling you don't take the SAT or ACT. All right, just understand how it's going to be used and applied so you can make the best decision for yourself. All right, we went over that. And the remission requirements are going the wrong way. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is kind of a timeline just to let you know how the application and enrollment process goes through. One of the things you want to make sure that you are doing is monitoring your email. Whatever email address you put down on the application, that is how the university is going to communicate with you. All right, so you want to make sure that you're checking your email on a regular basis, that the emails that you're being sent is not going to a spam or a trash box. Because one of the big things about this process is you cannot miss deadlines. All right, if you miss a deadline, even if you're eligible to be admitted, that university could very well use that against you to keep you out. All right, almost every institution gets plenty of applications, more than enough than we need in order to get the number of students that we're eligible to admit. You don't want to be in a situation where you miss out on the opportunity simply because you turned in your transcripts late, or you turned in test scores late, or you didn't register for something, you didn't register for orientation in time. So again, monitor those emails, make sure you pay attention. We're going to send you a lot of information. Take the time to read through it so you can be fully informed, right? One other thing I want to mention with regards to something that's very important as you go through this, every institution, even those ones out of state or private institutions, they're going to ask you to submit what's called an intent to enroll. The traditional deadline is May 1st. The whole intent of the intent to enroll is for you to tell which university, hey, I am coming to you, I'm turning everybody else down. All right, so if you get admitted to more than one institution, you do not want to send multiple intents to enroll. What happens is most of those intents to enroll comes with a deposit. In the case of CSUB, it's $100. That deposit, don't look at that as like a fee or processing, whatever. That $100 actually offsets your tuition. So when you pay that $100, your tuition just went down by $100. And the other thing about the intent to enroll for all campuses, it is not refundable. All right, non-refundable. So if you got admitted to Cal State, Bakersfield, and you got admitted to Fresno, and you send Fresno $100, you send us $100, and you decide to come to Bakersfield, and you call Fresno and say, hey, I sent you guys my intent to enroll. I decided to go to Bakersfield. Can you send me the $100 back? Let me tell you what they're going to say. Hell no. They're going to keep the money. I'm telling you, they're going to keep the money. So you just need to send your intent to enroll in that deposit to your number one choice school, okay? Do not send a school any money that you know or intend not to go to, all right? They will keep that money. All right, let's move on. All right, so CSUB and my office in particular, we have a number of online resources. So if you go to the website there, that is the website for my office, and we offer a variety of information and resources and links to help you out with regards to your decision to come to the university. All right, so here's just some contact information. Again, we want to make sure that you have access to any number of offices that will help you in your transition. And so anything that I can do or my office can do, please take advantage. You know, I want to make sure that you all understand that right now your ability to identify a school that you want to go to is so important. And I'm glad that you took the opportunity to at least listen to this presentation. I know we're in a COVID situation right now, and it's probably difficult to get to some schools, but one of the things that I would recommend, if you have an opportunity to tour some of the campuses and go to some of the schools that you're thinking about before school starts, you know, for you, try to take a tour, try to go to that campus, get a feel. You want to make sure that you are going to be comfortable there. And let me tell you what I'm talking about. You know, before this presentation started, your organizers threw up that information about the HBCUs, how some of them are, you know, relieving students from their debt, and they're dropping the out-of-state fees, and you know, hey, that sounds like a great deal. I mean, you know, I feel you on that, especially when it comes to economics. But one of the things that you want to consider when you are trying to apply to school and identify where you want to go is your comfort. Let me give you an example. Now, I can't see you, and I, you know, I don't know how you would answer this question, but how many of you have lived in Southern California your entire life? All right, if you've lived in Southern California your entire life, you are spoiled. How? You're spoiled with weather. We don't have seasons in Southern California. It might rain a little bit, right? But, you know, we wear the exact same clothes all year round, right? We don't have coats in our closet. We have a whole bunch of jackets, but we do not have a coat because we don't have that type of living experience as far as our weather. There are some places in this country, and if you've been paying attention to some of the news, you don't know nothing about no flood, don't know nothing about a blizzard, don't know nothing about a tornado. You know, there's homes out here in California, we don't even have basements, all right? Because just a different living environment. Well, if you are not used to that type of living, you're going to be uncomfortable when you go to school. And so your physical surroundings, that is something that you need to take in consideration. Now, does that mean that because you've been in Southern California, you should only go to school in Southern California? No, it doesn't mean that. What I'm talking about is you need to make a personal decision about where you're going based upon some information. And, you know, because you might be saying, you know what? Yeah, I have been in Southern California my whole life. You know what? I want a new environment. I want a new experience. So let me go out of state so I can get that new experience. Okay, cool. If you make that decision for yourself, fantastic. Go for it. Let me give you an example. My son, very, very high performing student, he got a letter from Harvard inviting him to apply. And so I told him, I said, man, they want you to apply, Jeremiah. You need to go ahead and do that. He said, no, I'm not going to apply. I was like, why? He said, because I don't want to go to college in a place where it snows. That was his reason. He does not want to do that. So I said, okay, well, then we don't even need to apply then. It doesn't matter that it's Harvard. You don't want to go to a place where it snows, then cool. Then why waste the money? All right. Other things, not only your ability to be comfortable as far as the seasons and weather, but also culture. I have a friend who grew up in inner city LA. He got a full ride football scholarship to Boise State in Idaho. Boise State has a dynamic football program. He went there and it was culture shock. He could, you know, inner city LA, Boise, Idaho, that is two different worlds. And what ended up happening was he ended up coming back to Southern California and went to Cal State Northridge and played football there when they did have a football team back in the day. So all those type of things could affect your comfort and your ability to be successful wherever you go to the university. So that's why it's important for you to go to presentations like this, important for you to do as much research as you can about the institutions, where they're located, the type of things you experience once you get there, because part of your success is you being comfortable in the environment that you're in. All right, well, that is my presentation. I want to go ahead and open up the opportunity now for questions. I've done a stop share. So if there's any questions that anybody has with regards to the university or going to a university in general, please drop it in the chat or unmute yourself, or however your teachers and counselors want you to do. But have at it.
All right, Mr. Riggins, thank you so much for that information. I'm sure our students are excited about Cal State University Bakersfield. You're making a strong pitch for the home team, so we appreciate that. We're going to ask at this time if Michelle Harvey has any questions and or comments, and then we'll turn it over to Lorena Galaviz for questions from our students in the queue.
Yes. Mr. Riggins, you made some really great points. There will be some students who will want to head out of the state, and we're trying to prepare those students for that. And then we'll have a group that will like to stay closer to home. So let me hit on some of the points that I saw from your presentation. You have over 55 degree programs, 100 plus clubs, 1,300 faculty and staff, over 11,000 students, programs for foster youth, military, migrant youth. You have a food pantry. If students are in the Palmdale, Lancaster area, they can start at ABC, do their 2 years there, and transfer to CSB. And then on top of that, you said no ACT, SAT in California because we realize that's an equity issue for students. So I'm just really, really excited about what I've heard from Cal State Bakersfield, and we will encourage our students to check your school out. Make sure that you go to Cal State University Bakersfield.edu. So it's those initials, and there you will find a lot of information. We even did a screenshot of your informational slide, and we will be sending that out through the College Access Program so that your information and who to contact for CSU Bakersfield students can get in contact. So we're really glad about that, and we're really glad about our HBCUs and Hispanic serving institutions. And to be honest, Mr. Riggins, we don't really care which college they go to, but we know they need to go to college. So we are really excited about that. Cheryl, I know that we may have questions in the queue, and Lorena, I see you here on screen. Let's let our students have their turn to ask questions.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I am a alumni from the Antelope Valley site. So that was definitely a great opportunity for me to get a graduate degree from that satellite site. So thank you to Bakersfield for making that possible for me and my family. Okay, the first question we have is, do you have any study abroad opportunities?
Okay, yes, and before I answer that question, let me echo what Ms. Harvey said with regards to college access. I'm all about access. It doesn't matter what university you go to, just go. All right, wherever that may be, that is your best fit, please go. It's going to make that much more of a difference in your life, enriching you financially as a person. It's, you know, just go. And then lastly, something else I believe she referred to as well. You know, you got to make sure that you take advantage of the opportunities that is before you. So whether that is an HBCU or whether that is a Cal State or you know, another institution, make sure that you fully investigate that. And also know that even though we're in a COVID situation, Cal State Bakersfield, we are still able to offer tours. There's some guidelines that we have to follow, but if you want to come to CSUB and check us out, my office will be more than welcome to assist you. All right, with regards to the question, we have both programs that will give you exchange opportunities in the United States as well as abroad and international. We do have an office that covers that. So yes, if you wanted to have an experience outside of the state or outside the country, we do offer those programs. And then also do some research yourself on some of those. There are some programs that are kind of stand by themselves and not necessarily associated with the university. For example, there's a program called Semester at Sea. And what that does is you are actually on a cruise ship for a semester, cruising the world And essentially your university is the boat. I mean, there's dorms, there's activities. You're also taking classes that count towards graduation, and you would transfer that back to the university that you're going to. So there are plenty of opportunities out there for you to get some external experiences outside of California, whether it be in the country or international with different exchange programs that universities have. So yes, there are those opportunities.
Great, thank you. The next question is regarding student-teacher ratios in the classroom. What are your average ratios?
Yeah, so we come in at about 26 to 1. And so the cool thing about that is two things on that. You are going to get one-on-one experiences with your professors. And then also when it comes to a Cal State particularly, the professor that's assigned to the class, that's who teaches the class. It's not going to be a graduate intern or anything like that. It's going to actually be that professor. And those same professors are required to have office hours. So you have the opportunity to talk to professors in class as well as during their office hours. They have to provide that information for you so that you can go to them when you feel you need some additional instruction or you have a question or whatever. So they are going to be available directly to you.
Another question regarding family housing. Do you offer opportunities for family housing?
We do not offer opportunities for family housing. However, we do have a children's center that is available for faculty, staff, and students. All right, so we have all three levels, all faculty, staff, students. If they have children and they need to be watched, while they're in school or while at work, we have a children's center that will meet those needs.
Great, thank you.
That's awesome. Mr. Riggins, thank you so very much again for the information. Thank you for sharing wisdom with our students. We can all use all of the wisdom that we can get. So we appreciate the fact that not only did you share data and information, you shared experience, you shared wisdom, you shared from the seat of a dad. So we really appreciate that so very much. Michelle, if you don't have any other final comments or remarks, we will move forward to close. Okay. That's it. That's a wrap for session 2 of day 3 of College Week. It's not over. Listen, we have one more at 1:00 p.m. today, and that will be San Diego State University. Yes, we are staying close to home in the state of California. To our students, if you'll go over to the chat right now, you'll find a link there. That link will lead you to a breakout room. There you'll find our counselors waiting for you there to answer more questions and to give you more information. So please meet us over in the breakout room in order to receive further information. And then we'll see you right back here at 1:00 p.m. Listen, one thing that I heard Mr. Riggins say and Michelle say, they said it doesn't matter where you choose to attend a college or university, just go. Just make a decision and just go. Do you know why? Because in the words of the iconic Miss Diana Ross, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep you from pursuing your dreams. We believe in you. We'll see you at 1:00. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace to all of you.